We got married and pregnant all at once on the same day. I had one child 9 months after I was married. And merely 9 months after that, I found myself pregnant again. And that pregnancy turned out to be twins. So I was gonna have 3 kids within 2 years of marriage, which is a death sentence for your relationship, particularly if you started it off already like, wow, do your parents secretly hate me? So I had to work out some of those feelings. My mother looks at me and says, you know, when Diane was growing up, we really didn't want her to marry outside of our race. And of course, there's deadly silence in my living room after this, and I look at my mother and said, Mom, you know, Singh is a different race than us. And she says, no, he's not. And I said, Mom, Songyeong with the black hair and the no fold in his eye is a different race than us. That's Asian. So my mother started to panic that she had insulted Singh to begin with because she likes Singh much better than she likes me. But thinking about half the time, I was like, what do you mean I have white socks on? And then you're sort of walking through Europe and you're like, oh, you can always find the Americans. They always have white socks on. And it was like cultural things I didn't understand because we spent so much time in America saying, I'm Irish and I'm Italian and we celebrate Christmas at midnight on Christmas Eve. Meanwhile, there isn't a person alive in my family who had ever been to Italy. Like, I learned how to speak Italian and I moved to Italy at like 17. And I realized that the Italian words that my family used aren't even in the Italian language. They're like bastardized versions of the language that are from, like, oh, clearly your husband needed to have sex with a white woman for his own self-esteem. I was like, yeah, and you live in a shoebox. You're not having sex with anyone, obviously.